What up, world? This your boy, DJ Sugar Bear, back in the house, on the ones and twos. And man, can you feel that energy? That's what we do here on the Drama Network. This is where new school YouTube and old school soap opera radio have a baby. And trust me, this baby's got sass. Welcome to your ultimate destination for gripping, serialized stories that dive deep into the messy, passionate, and often scandalous realities of human relationships. You're tuned into WDRA YouTube Radio, where I, KC Saga aka DJ Sugar Bear, guide you through intricate plots bursting with love, honor, and devastating betrayal. From hidden affairs to shocking revelations, our daytime operas will keep you on the edge of your seat, just like the classics you grew up with. If you crave stories where trust is broken, loyalties are tested, and every twist leaves you wanting more, you found your new obsession. And speaking of twists, you ain't seen nothing yet. Get ready, because today we're kicking off something brand new, an extension of the drama you love. We're diving headfirst into our new series, Back Anthology, the DramaOpera Series. Each episode of Back Anthology brings you a complete, standalone story, packed with all the high emotional drama you expect from the Drama Network. Get ready for tales where relationships hit the rocks, hidden schemes lurk beneath the surface, and let's just say, some folks get what's coming to them. It's intense, it's unpredictable, and it's all for you. Right after this, we plunge into the very first installment of Back Anthology. You're not going to want to miss a single second of you play checkers, but I play chess.
Cathy Jenner, a 24-year-old tattoo artist, always felt a restless energy beneath her polished New York veneer. Originally from the quieter, more conservative landscapes of Utah, she now navigated the vibrant chaos of the city with her best friend, Ophelia Evans. Ophelia, known as Oppy, also from Utah, was Cathy's co-conspirator and, secretly, her long-term lover since they were 18. Cathy enjoyed her boyfriend, Bradley Young, a 29-year-old accounts manager. Bradley, a quintessential white Manhattanite, was sweet, financially sound, and utterly reliable, the Wall Street part of the fantasy man Cathy and Oppy craved. But Cathy also yearned for the Harlem, the rough, non-committal rudeboys, specifically envisioning tall, well-endowed black men like NBA or NFL players, men who don't give, they just take. These men, often from the grittier streets of Harlem, represented a raw, untamed passion. Cathy and Oppy knew this perfect combo man didn't exist, so they were determined to create their ideal situation. Bradley was the big fish they'd been waiting for. The first step was a test. Cathy and Oppy meticulously planned to get Bradley to Oppy's wild house party, a scene he'd normally avoid. The night of the party, as soon as they arrived, Oppy skillfully pulled Bradley away, distracting him while Cathy slipped off. Her target was Richard Johnson, a 6 feet 6 inches, 32-year-old black roughneck street guy from Harlem, known to the girls as Dick. He perfectly fit Cathy's rude boy type. They'd even shared an inside joke. Did you get rich today? It was a coded question about whether they'd had relations with Richard, disguised by the innocuous idea of getting rich. Cathy led Richard to the secluded attic, leaving a subtle trail for Bradley to follow. The plan was to see how he'd react. In the dim, dusty space, they began kissing and caressing. Just as things intensified, the attic door creaked open. Bradley stood there, his face a mask of disgusted disbelief. He hadn't seen enough for a physical altercation, but it was clear what was happening. Cathy immediately pulled away, feigning drunkenness.
Bradley, oh my God, I don't know what I was doing. I'm so drunk.
Richard just stared Bradley down, his eyes conveying a silent threat that completely punked Bradley, who didn't dare challenge him. Oppy, observing from a distance, registered Bradley's lack of a physical fight.
Candidate acquired.
She thought, a cold satisfaction in her eyes. Bradley, fuming, grabbed Cathy and dragged her out of the party. The wild music and laughter faded behind them as they left the chaotic scene. The next morning, Cathy called Oppy.
I smoothed it over.
She chirped, explaining how she'd convinced Bradley during their night together that her actions were harmless, a mere drunken mistake, a narrative she carefully spun to ensure his belief and continued compliance. After all, she'd pointed out, she had invited him to the party. Oppy's grin was audible through the phone.
Official candidate. Now it's time for step 2. taking his pants, metaphorically speaking.
Later that morning, Bradley came downstairs expecting breakfast, his usual routine. Instead, the kitchen was empty.
I had other stuff to do. You should be more considerate, get up early and cook for me. People are willing to.
She offered a quick, forced laugh to soften the blow. All morning, the subtle shifts continued. This was part of step 2, a deliberate chipping away at his established role. Tasks she normally handled were now barked as orders for him, aimed at asserting her dominance, despite her not contributing financially to their shared life. Upstairs, a strange text had arrived on Bradley's phone. "Hey, I saw what happened yesterday at the party. Hang in there, be strong. You can survive this relationship." He quickly pocketed it as Cathy called him, a bitter thought crossing his mind.
She sure puts on a hell of a show.
Cathy informed Bradley that Oppy had invited them for an intimate dinner and a movie. He tried to wiggle out of it, but Cathy wouldn't let him. That night, they arrived at Oppy's with wine and gourmet popcorn. As they settled in, the doorbell rang.
My date.
Bradley looked at Cathy, feigning confusion.
I didn't know she was dating someone.
Oppy opened the door and Richard, the large black man he caught kissing Cathy at the party, walked in, giving Oppy a familiar, deep hug. Bradley's face hardened, maintaining his act.
What is he doing here?
He demanded. Oppy feigned surprise.
Oh. Bradley, meet Richard, and Richard, meet Bradley. Well, Richard and I are in a relationship with another woman. Her identity is as secret as not to get her boyfriend upset, however. She will be revealed in time. And we are looking at a guy to finance it all from the sidelines. So we want to be a fourple.
So you got a problem with that, Brad?
Again, Bradley backed down, his jaw clenched, allowing Richard's round 1 and 2 dominance in this premeditated psychological assault to play out.
We're leaving.
You know what? I'm sick of you acting like a big kid. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm going back in there and have dinner with my friends. You're gonna go home. When we're done with our fun, I'll call you for sloppy seconds.
A flicker of carefully controlled dismay crossed Bradley's face.
Fun like sex.
He stammered, playing his part.
Are you kidding? Well, I'm not going to have intimate relations with them. It's a joke. I kissed him before, so when we kiss later. Sloppy seconds. Get it?
Her laugh this time felt even more mocking, designed to shred his dignity while giving him a twisted reason to stay. This was about asserting utter control, not just a casual joke. Bradley, weighing his options, knew if he left, he'd be left to imagine the worst. He stayed. They went back in. After dinner, Richard announced he was going to take a shower. Cathy quickly orchestrated the seating.
Brad, you sit on the end. Oppy, I want to sit next to my friend.
She made sure Bradley knew she meant Oppy. When Richard emerged from the bathroom, no shirt and in thin, tight swim shorts, he confidently slid right between Oppy and Cathy, creating a physical arrangement of Oppy, Richard, Cathy, and then Bradley, almost alone on the other end of the couch, with Richard's arms around both girls. This symbolic access to both girls was not lost on Bradley. He watched, a cold, calculating resolve hardening beneath his outwardly horrified facade. Every deliberate move by Cathy and Oppy, every smirk from Richard, was being filed away. As the night wore on, they all drank, and Cathy feigned sleep, her face strategically positioned in Richard's lap right next to her boyfriend. Richard's expression was one of obvious contentment. Oppy, meanwhile, was wide awake, watching TV, observing Bradley. After a few, to many beers, Bradley had to go to the bathroom. When Bradley returned from the bathroom, Cathy suddenly woke up, scrambling to sit upright. Bradley's horror deepened as he noticed a small bit of moisture at the corner of Cathy's mouth. Oh my God, what was she doing while I was in the bathroom?
Why is your mouth wet? What happened while I was in the bathroom?
He choked out, performing his role. You know, I sleep with my mouth open when my head is face down. Bradley was failing every test. He'd caved to Richard's challenge, failed Cathy's stay or leave for sloppy seconds ultimatum. And now, the seating arrangement had led to this undeniable implication of intimacy.
When is this dumb movie over?
I want to stay and finish the movie.
Cathy replied, just as Oppy rose, leading Richard by the hand toward the bedroom. They left the door wide open, disrobed, and got into bed under cover.
Things are heating up. Maybe we should go. But hold on.
Then, to Bradley's disbelief, she stood, walked into the room behind Oppy and Richard, and closed and locked the door. Bradley stood frozen at the door, calling Cathy's name. A muffled voice responded from inside, too indistinct for clarity.
I'm just saying good night to my friends. Go sit on the couch. And stop being so controlling.
Back at Bradley's place after the Netflix and chill night, Cathy immediately launched into a verbal assault, turning the blame entirely on him.
Look, things need to change. I was not impressed with your behavior tonight. Do you need me to be a mother to you or a girlfriend?
Bradley, meticulously playing the part of a bewildered man, could only stammer.
Well, I want you to be my girlfriend, not my mother.
Wrong answer, Buster. I will be a mother and a wife to you, understood? So I expect a proposal soon, a commitment that would solidify her control over his future. Because without it, she warned, she would be buck wild, and would spend more time in the room. The implication of the room was clear, a direct reference to where she had just been with Oppy and Richard. Are you saying you were intimate with those two tonight? Cathy laughs, again using her false amusement to mask the sting. I'm just playing. You can't take a joke. I won't have intimate relations with them until you sanction it. Okay? It was a cruel game, offering a false sense of control while subtly demanding compliance. And in his carefully crafted confused state, Bradley truly sealed his fate. With that single quiet okay, he unwittingly granted her the permission not just for the potential act, but for the very request to be made, a question he should have met with an absolute refusal. He had just greenlit her future infidelity.
I'm going to bed. Your job tomorrow. Get my ring and I want you to get an apology card, one for Oppy and one for Richard, to apologize for the way you acted tonight. Got it.
She turns away, leaving him seemingly stunned. When Bradley tried to get into bed with her, Cathy shoved him out of the room. This was a deliberate act of mothering punishment, designed to deny him closeness and assert her absolute authority. Until you learn how to act when we are with them as a fourple, you don't deserve to get close to us. And, until you comply, you will not be allowed to make any decisions. I give and I take away.
Fourple? Are you saying we are in a relationship with Oppy and Richard?
Cathy fixes him with a cold stare.
I will discuss it with Oppy and Richard tomorrow, and I will let you know what we come up with. You don't get a say so in the matter because you don't know how to act. Now close the door. Ease.
Bradley was left alone, locked out, the full reality of her domination seemingly crashing down on him. The next day, at his office, Bradley sits in a haze, the quiet hum of his successful world a stark contrast to the chaos Cathy had brought. His secretary interrupts his thoughts.
Sir, you have a call waiting. I think it's a private detective agency.
Bradley takes the call, his voice low and firm.
It will be time soon. I will contact you.
A sinister look crosses his face, a flicker of that mean streak his girlfriend had once observed, hinting at his own hidden agenda. Just then, his phone rings again. It's Cathy.
Hey, are you headed home yet? We have things to discuss. Did you get my ring and the apology cards?
Yes, dear.
Bradley replies, his voice eerily flat.
At home. We have changes to make. Oh, by the way, I took a pair of your suit pants and had them tailored to fit me, and I'll be wearing them from now on.
Why did you do that?
Bradley asks, a tremor in his voice, allowing his feigned confusion to momentarily break through.
I wear the pants now. Get used to it.
Bradley drove home, Cathy's words about his tailored suit pants echoing in his ears. I wear the pants now. Get used to it. She had no idea the truth of that statement was about to be twisted into a bitter, unrecoverable irony for her. The phone call to the private detective had been a formality, a confirmation of pieces he already held. Bradley had known everything from the start. The Wall Street and Harlem narrative, their grand plan to marry him and live out a cuckold fantasy with revolving threesomes. He knew it all. He knew about Cathy and Oppy being the real couple, about Richard and himself being merely the interchangeable affair partners. He knew about the forced proposal, the demanded apologies to Oppy and Richard. And he knew, with chilling certainty, that Cathy was rushing him home for the final submission, because Oppy and Richard were already on their way, set to arrive for the real Netflix and chill, where everything would be out in the open. How did he know? Because Richard worked for him. He was part of BlackRock Detective Agency, a plant Bradley had hired through the bank's resources. And a final perfectly placed knife twist. Richard was also a schoolmate of Bradley's, a secret weapon in plain sight. Bradley pulled into his driveway, the expensive house looming, no longer a symbol of their future, but a trap of his own design. He walked in, not looking surprised, finding Cathy and Oppy already there, kissing on the couch.
Glad you're home.
Cathy purred, pulling away from Oppy, her eyes glittering with triumphant anticipation. P.
I made a special dinner for your proposal and your apologies. Here's how this relationship will work. You will be my husband. You will have no other woman, understood? And I will have you and Oppy and Richard and whoever else I want to. In fact, tonight we will have a very adult celebration. You know, our kind of fun.
She laughed, a chilling, condescending sound.
Are you saying what I think?
He began, a tremor of feigned confusion in his voice.
Yes, I am. We will engage, all three of us, and you will watch. Fully dressed and docile. You are not allowed to participate. You belong to me.
Bradley's serene composure was shattered, replaced by a steely resolve.
Wait, none of that will happen. Not tonight. Not ever. There will be no apology and no proposal. In fact, the movers will bring you your things tomorrow.
Brad!
Be quiet, both of you.
Bradley snapped, his gaze fixed on Cathy, his eyes burning with years of suppressed rage.
I'm tired of your manipulation. I have been to the best schools in the country. What makes you think you could outsmart me? I have been privy to this scheme the whole time.
Let's see how tough you are when Richard gets here.
Bradley's smile was cold, deadly. I know Richard is bigger than me, Cathy, but my money is bigger than Richard, and he's not coming.
What do you mean he's not coming? He's on his way.
He's waiting for my call, in fact. You see, Cathy, you overplayed your hand. Every step of your little game. Richard was keeping me posted, because he works for the private detective agency, BlackRock.
Cathy had operated with distinct layers of control. First, the insidious psychological manipulation to bend his will. If that proved insufficient, her second layer was the implicit threat of physical violence, embodied by Richard, to ensure his compliance. Her ultimate, nuclear option would have been divorce, leveraging his wealth against him once married. But in this precise moment, Bradley had checkmated every single layer. His defiance had shattered her psychological hold, and by revealing Richard was his paid asset, not her instrument of intimidation, he had completely disarmed her second, violent threat. Unmarried, she had no claim on his finances, rendering her final, ultimate leverage utterly powerless. She had nothing left. Just then, a sharp knock echoed at the front door. Bradley's eyes fixed on Cathy's terrified face. By the way, give me my damn pants. No matter how much you tailor them, you ain't got the balls to wear my pants. Now get out of my house and take your little accomplice with you.
All right, my Drama Network fam. That was Back Anthology, the drama opera series for today. And man, if that didn't just leave you hanging on every word, I don't know what will. So, what is Back Anthology, you ask? Well, it's our brand new series right here on WDRA YouTube Radio, where we bring you a fresh, complete story in every single episode. Think of it like a punchy, emotional roller coaster where, yeah, things get messy in relationships, hidden plots are brewing, and ultimately, someone is going to get served a dish best eaten cold. Every story stands alone, but they all share that signature Drama Network heat. If you were feeling that, if you were on the edge of your seat, then you know what to do. Don't be a stranger. Like this video, share it with your whole crew, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss a single drop of drama. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're always in the loop for the next drama drop. And trust me, you know you got opinions, so drop them in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about today's episode, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. This is your boy, DJ Sugar Bear, signing off from WDRA YouTube Radio. Stay tuned, stay dramatic, and I'll catch you next time for more Payback Anthology on the Drama Network. Peace.